asking my sister and her family to leave and ruin our family dinner. My girlfriend, F29, and I, M29, were going to host Thanksgiving dinner last year. We had everything planned and we invited our closest family members, her parents, my siblings, and my sister's family. Unfortunately, we had some health issues concerning my girlfriend's pregnancy. Even though she was 31 weeks pregnant just a few days before Thanksgiving, she had to have an emergency C-section. I won't go into too much detail with that since it's irrelevant, but the thing is that we cancelled dinner. My GF and our baby had to be in the hospital for a bit. My girlfriend and I decided to just stay home during Christmas and New Year's Eve dinner too, as she was still recovering from the surgery and we honestly didn't feel like doing much. However, since she's feeling better now, she thought that it would be a good idea to have a family dinner now, to make up for all of our missed holidays this year. Long story short, we planned a dinner for yesterday. My girlfriend and I are vegan. Usually she doesn't mind too much being around cooked meat, but we prefer to not have it in our home. My sister, F35, is married and has 2 kids, both boys under 10. My girlfriend and I cooked for everyone, and when our families came, my sister's husband asked whether real food was after we told them what we've cooked, all vegan dishes. My GF is a little oversensitive still, so I took my family aside and kindly asked them to not make any harsh comments like that. They said they'll be careful and my sister's husband apologized. However, as I was finishing cooking some of our food, someone rang the bell. My sister said, "Oh, it must be the delivery for the kids," and yeah, it was. She had ordered fried chicken for her kids since they surely won't like what my GF and I cooked. That caused a big argument between me and my sister, since she didn't tell me that she was ordering chicken, which I wouldn't have allowed. The discussion escalated and I ended up asking my sister and her family to leave. After that, my parents also got upset with me and they left as well. We ended up having dinner just with my in-laws and my brother. I feel like I did something wrong because now my parents or sister don't want to talk to me unless I apologize for being an extremist, but I was only trying to keep my girlfriend comfortable and happy in her own house. I need different point of views here, please.
Comment 1. NTA. I'm a happy omnivore and love me some good fried chicken, but when I go visit my vegan aunt I don't order KFC to her house. And yes, I have a small child under 10, I'm aware of what they prefer to eat. Guess what he eats when we visit my aunt? Vegan food. Vegetables are good for him, and if he's really not having it we can hit up a drive-through on the way home. Oh, the horror of not having meat for one meal. It is so easy to be decent guests by just respecting the house rules of the people you are visiting. If you can't handle that, then don't visit them. Simple. Unless you and your GF spontaneously became vegans last week without telling anybody, your dinner party fare should have been no surprise and their ill manners were uncalled for. Comment 2. NTA. People can eat vegan for one meal. You do not go to someone's house as a guest, criticize and insult them, and bring food into that home without permission that you know they don't eat. If her sons had tried it and disliked it, they could have asked to order something else. Or, they could have fed them after. But their behavior was rude from start to finish. Comment 3. NTA. Anyone who orders a takeaway to their dinner host's home is automatically a rude a-hole. Her children need to know that they won't love every meal they're served, but they should at least give it a taste. If they really didn't enjoy it, she could have taken them for a takeaway later. Your BIL needs a lesson in manners as well.
Refusing to pay for my sister's cruise. My 19F grandparents are celebrating 50 years of marriage this year and have invited the whole family to go with them on a cruise for a family reunion. That means all 6 of their children and their extended family, roughly 125 people, are going on a week-long vacation in March. I adore my grandparents but have a complicated relationship with my parents. In short, they are incredibly emotionally immature and care entirely too much about how they appear to others and not enough about how we as a family are functioning. Because of this, one of my older sisters, Brittany, 20F, has fallen into addiction. Though I've tried my best to help her, without the support of my parents there's very little I can actually do. They told me it was my responsibility to take care of her, so when she lost everything after her DUI my senior year in high school, I completely rearranged my life to cater to her. I stayed home my first year of college and took her to and from all of her appointments, took her to work and school, etc. I sacrificed my life so that it looked like our family was functioning even though we weren't. Unfortunately, with addiction, there's always the chance of relapse, and my sister relapsed hard. She OD'd and I found her and had to rush her to the hospital. Still, my parents refused reasonable help. So, I stopped doing everything and decided to go to the school of my dreams and live my own life. After a week of having to actually parent, I got the apology call and the request to support her again. I denied them, and have 100% been independent since. Which brings us back to the cruise. Last week my parents called to inform me that I'm expected to go on this cruise and pay for everything myself, which is fine. I'm adult. However, I was not expecting to pay for Brittany. My parents said without reliable transportation, she's been unable to maintain a steady income and it's my fault for moving away, so it's reasonable for me to pay for her and have her pay me back. I told them no and asked why they couldn't. Turns out, in addition to paying for my younger sister Callie, 16F, they've also decided to pay for my nieces, 2F, 3F, 5F, and 2 stepsisters, 28F, 24F. I double down on paying for my own school and don't want to dip into my savings when I know I won't get paid back. But now I'm getting non-stop hate messages from the rest of the family. I don't think I'm being unreasonable, but with my grandparents are calling me begging me to go on the cruise and to just go ahead and pay for my sister, I'm wavering.
Comment 1. NTA. I wouldn't even go on the cruise. I'd find a time that works for me and my grandparents and go spend a week with them, just them and me. That way I could celebrate them, spend time with them, and enjoy them without all that other garbage going on. Do not pay for your sister. If you do, they will all realize their tactics work and they will use these tactics for the rest of your life to control you. Comment 2. NTA. I am in disbelief that your parents made you responsible for their child when you were a child. I could possibly understand helping them when they were at work. But you sacrificing your teens and first year of schooling to be around is not okay. Please do not give in. The bullying your family is doing to you is not normal or acceptable behavior. If your parents can pay for several other people in the family, but not their own child, that says more about them than you. Best of luck to you in school. I sincerely hope you are doing okay. Do not let your family bully you into risking your schooling, time, money and mental health. Comment 3. NTA. I was floored when I saw that even your grandparents are guilting you. I don't know how you could go and be around these people. I couldn't do this with my own family and I love them very much. I would have some very harsh words I can't say here for all of them, starting with shame on you and are you volunteering to pay? The guilting on these people is astounding. Refusing to send the kids to bed early just because my husband wants to relax? My husband works 10-hour shifts at a shipyard. Leaves at 8 a.m. and is home by 6:30 p.m. His job is 3 minutes down the street. I work 8-hour shifts at home, while also homeschooling our 3 school-aged kids, 7-year twins, 5-year, nursing our 2-month-old and doing all the cooking. We do not homeschool as a normal. Schools have been shut down for 5 or 6 weeks after finding lead in the drinking water. But given this, I'm doing far more than my husband is. Not that it's a competition, but let's be real. Well, this past week has been extremely rough on me mentally. There was a child death in my family and another family member is hospitalized in ICU. I'm struggling to power through it while still working, homeschooling, nursing the baby and cooking by myself. My husband is the opposite though. He isn't even remotely affected by what's going on in my family right now. He didn't know the child and he's not close to my hospitalized family member. He checks in on me through text during the day, but when he gets home, he doesn't mention it. Doesn't ask how I am. He grabs his plate of dinner and takes the baby to go hang out with him while I clean up. I know it could be argued that he should be helping clean, but me and my children are clean freaks and enjoy cleaning, so it's no issue. But the night before last he asked if I could send the kids to bed early, 7 p.m., because he just wanted to relax. I said no. The kids had been great all day and they weren't even bothering him, so no. They won't be punished for zero reason. Then last night at like 6:50-ish he goes, "So we are sending the kids to bed at 7, right?" I said no, why would we? And he snapped. He said I just want to fucking relax without having anyone talk to me after busting my ass all day. I'm tired of working and getting zero downtime. And storms out of the room. This absolutely pissed me off because I work full time and do everything in this house, so I should be the one begging for a break. The kids are in bed by 8, meaning he has literally 2.5 hours to deal with them daily. But anyways, he comes back in and says, "Sorry, can we please just send them to bed?" I said no and walked away. He's pissed at me and says I'm not letting him catch a break once a week. ETA, we have an agreement that neither of us make a decision regarding the kids without first speaking to each other. This was put in place after he repeatedly made new rules without informing me and would discipline the kids for not following the rules when I was the one allowing it because nothing was ever communicated to me. He also overstepped tremendously back some years ago. So we now have this agreement. And no, he doesn't want them to go to bed early to have time with me. He wants to sit at his computer with headphones in and not be interrupted. Comment 1. NTA children are people, and they are people that need routines. They aren't toys to be put back in their boxes when they're inconvenient. They should go to bed at their regular bedtimes, unless there's a pressing reason to stay up late. As almost every human knows, going to bed early doesn't usually work, unless you have a sleep deficit you need to catch up on. Comment 2. NTA, but you need to better split tasks and get him to take more of the workload, and also the mental management and planning. It sounds like you are basically running the household alone on all the mentally consuming and time-consuming tasks. If negotiating doesn't work, you going away for a few days with your newborn might help him face the extent of the work you do, and learn to do it. He might not really realize how much you do. Comment 3. NTA. Your husband is being inconsiderable, given that you are doing a lot with the kids not in school ATM, and him barely helping. A couple is supposed to be a team, whether or not kids are involved. What concerns one should also concern the other. I understand that sometimes people have long days and want time to themselves, but he is only thinking about himself. Truth being told, you would probably have less headaches without him. Refusing to cook for my fiancé anymore? For context, we come from a cultural background where women are responsible for running the house and men typically work. It is also seen as very important that women take pride in their home. The difference between my upbringing is that he was brought up overseas, and that his mom and sisters are all stay-at-home wives or don't work, and I have been studying and working my whole life. I wasn't at home to learn everything like they did. Despite this, I put in a lot of effort to try to learn recipes, how to keep the house clean and tidy despite working full-time. I put a lot of pride in my home. A few times, he's made comments which I guess are not meant in a malicious way but I find hurtful. Like he will say my cooking is nice but will compare it to his sister's cooking. His sister is 10 years older than me and doesn't work, she stayed home and learned everything. Or he will say you need to get the recipe from my sister, she makes it so well. It's absolutely amazing. I will then spend time trying to perfect the recipe she gave me and he will say it is nice but then give me criticisms. How can I be expected to make something exactly the same way she does? We had an argument today because he made a joke about my cooking after I spent so much time shopping for specific ingredients for a dish he requested. The joke was in reference to a meme he found where someone couldn't cook the exact same meal I attempted and it ruined a wedding or something. He said, "Hey, it's you." I told him this upset me as I put so much effort into preparing the meal to make him happy. We argued and he pretty much said, "Of course you'll never be able to cook like my sisters but you can learn from them." This feels condescending to me. He also said he will fault my food so I will learn. I told him I will no longer be cooking for him, especially none of the specific recipes he requests from his sisters. He said I'm taking it too far and am overreacting. I ended up crying, not willingly, and he just told me, please don't tell me you're going to cry over this, you're so sensitive. I'm just trying my best. Comment 1. NTA, he can make his own food from now on. It seems like he's comparing you to his family because that's what he wants you to be. Also, the last line about him calling you sensitive is red flags. He's invalidating your feelings and making them seem like a joke. Comment 2. NTA, your fiancé is though. He's disrespectful for a start. If you marry this man, you are going to be miserable. He will always compare you to his sisters. Nothing you do will ever be good enough for him and his family. You are laying yourself open like a lamb to the slaughter. Meanwhile, your husband won't have to lift a finger and will be criticizing you about food after you have already done an 8-hour shift and cleaned up after him. You might as well just give up work now and spend the rest of your days serving. Comment 3. NTA. I really enjoy cooking and I enjoy cooking for other people. I always tell people if they don't like the food not to force themselves to eat it. If they have comments on the food, I openly welcome them because to do so encourages growth and a better understanding of other folks' palates. With that being said, comparing your cooking to someone else's isn't fair. It's rude and inconsiderate, and I wouldn't tolerate it either. I would like to add though, if it's possible, cooking with or learning with your new SIL or MIL may be a fun bonding experience.